A record-breaking day today at Old Trafford. Joe Root's record-shattering 38th Test century, Stokes' gritty 77, and India's bowlers felt under fire. Day 3 at Old Trafford was a baseball masterclass. Can India pull off a miracle to stay alive in this test? Subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to stay updated on all our future videos. We have a very special guest today who supports England cricket, and his name is Barnaby Marder. So he will be talking on how England performed today and what was the performance of India and how he sees this test is progressing. So welcome to my show, Barnaby. Hope you enjoyed the day, and it's almost weekend now. So how do you see this match progressing? I mean, first of all, let's pay our tribute to Joe Root. He's become the second highest test run scorer, and he has shattered so many records today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, yeah, Root's an amazing class act, isn't he? He seems to be able to produce a really wide variety of scoring strokes without ever looking as if he's having to work too hard or take too many risks. He scores at a fast pace without looking flustered. His defense is there when it's needed. He clearly loves playing. You know, he's always smiling, and he sprints out to the middle. It's a great thing to watch. I'm sure he has it in him to score a lot more test runs before his day is done. But yes, it's a classic, typical Root innings, isn't it? His innings often are a little similar to each other, but I don't think they're any less good for that. It's marvellous for a side to have someone they can rely on for heavy runs. Earlier in his career, he tended not to convert his 50s into hundreds often enough, and nowadays he is very good at doing that. Once he gets past 50, he's very, very likely to get 100, and sometimes a lot more than 100. So, yeah, a big, what they call a daddy 100 today. So, yeah, well done to him, and it's a great achievement. And level with Sangakkara now in terms of Test centuries, both wonderful players in their different ways. And yes, we all love watching him, unless we're on the other end of his bat, basically.
Yeah, I mean, in this test match, Ben Duckett and Zach Crawley, they gave a very solid start of 166 runs. And if we recall the Leeds test when they were chasing, they also scored 188 not out, and they went on to win that match. So whenever they play big knock, it's it puts in England in a very good position. They must be gutted not to complete their century, though. How do you think about their score in this particular inning?
What, for Crawley and Duckett?
Yes,
Crawley obviously needed some runs because there's always talk of him not being good enough for Test cricket. It's clear that he's capable of very high class innings, and there were some lovely shots in that innings. Driving on the up through the offside without looking in any bother at all. And he can defend, and I thought it was a good innings. He didn't try to play silly shots. They were mostly the right ones. After a fairly shaky start, Duckett has become really a very dependable opener for the type of player he is. He's averaging well over 40 in Test cricket, which is obviously very good. And most people think he would walk into a World Test 11 as an opener right now. I'd like to see Crawley much more consistently make runs, but this was a good effort, and he was assisted by some really not very good Indian bowling, though. They just bowled too many leg stump half volleys, especially to Duckett, who needs no second invitation to hit balls like that for four. But I think India certainly helped England, but it was a good start, and with all the batting that is to come later on in the order, it's pretty ominous if England get century opening partnerships as well.
Yeah. I think I could see from his reaction when Ben Duckett was out, he felt very unhappy. He deserved to score the century, but it's good that they have managed to score something, because in the previous match they struggled. Both of them struggled. I mean, the top order, they couldn't score many runs. But they were lucky to win that match on the last ball of Shoaib Bashir, that magic ball. That moment we still recall, and we cherish that. So I'll just give a little bit recap of what happened. In England started its inning today. They were trailing by 133 runs, and today at the end of the day they have scored 544 runs for 7 wickets. In 135 overs, and Joe Root is still playing. He's on 121. And Ben Stokes is on 77. Ollie Pope scored 71, and Liam Dawson 21. So at the moment, England are leading by 186 runs. As you can see that Joe Root has actually surpassed Ricky Ponting and Jack Callis and Rahul Dravid to become the second highest run scorer in Test history. He's just behind Sachin Tendulkar. So it's a great milestone for him and for England. So we will be discussing the performance of Indian bowlers, how they started today, what did they do wrong, because obviously they took a long time before they could get English players out until after lunchtime. I mean, before the lunchtime, they didn't have much luck. So what did they do wrong today, Barnaby, in your opinion?
Well, Bumrah doesn't seem to be fully fit. They rely very heavily on Bumrah, who is such a wonderful bowler, and the best Indian pace bowler I've ever seen. But he seemed to be several miles per hour down. He wasn't totally happy. When you're only bowling in the early 80s, he's much less threatening. He really needs to be bowling in the upper 80s or the very early 90s. But yes, he didn't seem to be quite at the races. His first ball was a very tame loosener, but he never quite got it right. And I think when Bumrah's not firing, the rest of the Indian attack tends to get a bit downhearted. But I think that Gill should have he should certainly have brought Washington Sundar on much earlier than he did. Sundar was... It's very strange the way they've treated Sundar. He bowled 9 or 10 overs on the trot, and then he hadn't bowled at all before that. And then, he came out of the attack. Came out of the attack and wasn't seen again for ages. Sundar doesn't spin the ball much, but he can be a very effective bowler. And he got 2 very quick wickets. And he should have bowled more. I think Jadeja should also have been on earlier. Jadeja is a bowler that, to some extent, the Indian batters probably fear. He's shown himself to be a bowler of the highest class. Look at his Test record. It's a very strange thing that Siraj only seems to thrive when Bumrah's not playing. I mean, he's gone for loads of runs today, and he's taken 1 wicket towards the end, but he's not been very effective. And the other Indian seamers, that they don't look very threatening. This new guy they brought in for this test, Kambodge. Somebody said that some international women bowlers are actually quicker than he is, and yet he's operating off a very long run. We see stuff like that at my sort of level of pub cricket. You don't expect to see it so much at Test cricket. But yeah, I'm not sure they had quite the right attack. I guess they probably miss Ishant Sharma, who was a really good backup bowler. Sometimes a good frontline bowler. They lost it yesterday with their poor start to the openers, and they managed to restrict England's run rate at times, but I don't think they look particularly dangerous most of the time. And England were able to accumulate a lot of runs without working too hard. They scored well over 330 odd runs in the day without looking in that much of a hurry. Not many boundaries by England standards. Not typical Bazball, in fact. We haven't seen loads of ramps and reverse sweeps and sort of charging down the pitch to the pace bowlers. But India's attack is a bit limited. They really rely on Bumrah firing on all cylinders. And, Jadeja, whilst he's a very fine bowler, not so effective in English conditions, I don't think. They should have used Sundar more for sure. He doesn't look like a very dangerous bowler sometimes, but he's shown in both the last two matches he is capable of taking wickets rather quickly. So he should have surely bowled more.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, when Bumrah is not in the team, then Siraj tend to excel. And he bowled really beautifully at Edgbaston. And at that time, I remember Ravi Shastri on the commentary panel. He was saying that I'm quite surprised that your match winner bowler is not playing in this particular match. But then we saw Akashdeep coming in his place. He bowled beautifully, and they managed to win that match. And then look, the thing is, everybody knows that Bumrah is not 100% fit, and he's not going to play all 5 matches. We all knew that he's going to play only 3 test matches, so this is his 3rd one. So I would imagine that if India manages to lose this match, then the series is gone. So it won't make any difference, even if Bumrah is rested. So this is the match they have to concentrate at the moment. And you're right that when they started their bowling yesterday, I mean, rather than using their ace bowler, which is Siraj, in this particular score, they started bowling with the new debutant. So that was quite surprising. And I was listening to what Stuart Broad was saying about Sundar, which you just mentioned a while ago, that he bowled beautifully, and then not use him in 67 overs when the opposition team was on 301 for 2. That seems quite bizarre. So that, I mean, it could be possible because Shubman Gill is a new captain. He's relatively inexperienced. He's probably still learning so many things. So it's all learning curve. But then the coaching team would probably be having some other plans as well. But at the moment, it looks very good position for England at the moment. So what do you think? I have a question from Kaz. He's asking that do you think 220 or 250 runs lead tomorrow first half will make it difficult for Indian to set a decent chasing score? So what do you think, Barnaby?
Absolutely, yes. They a lead like that. I think England's lead is already large enough personally, but it would, England they're already ahead in the series. There's no harm at all in them extending the lead further. I'm sure Ben Stokes would like to have 100 if he can, because it's quite some time since he has got a test century. It's going to be extremely difficult for the Indians to set a good score to chase. It's going to need, obviously they've got some great batters, but they'll really have to be pretty much all in form at the same time, or somebody will have to make a gigantic score like Gill did earlier in the series. There's another thing which we could have touched on just quickly. I'm not sure it was such a great idea to announce that Bumrah would only play 3 test matches. There was no need to tell England that and encourage, because that's just an obvious encouragement to England. Why do that? Just let everyone wait for the selection in each match rather than doing that. But that's a relatively minor thing. But in answer to the question, clearly it's a big lead already, and India really perhaps should have got more runs on that. 358 is not a rubbish score. Obviously it isn't, but I think they would have won. With the batting lineup they have, they would have wanted more.
One more question I wanted to ask in terms of spin bowlers. I mean, we had Shoaib Bashir, but now he's been ruled out because of the injury. In his absence, I mean, since we used to have Moeen Ali and that Adil Rashid, we don't have very good spinners in England squad at the moment. So that's a clear difference if you compare the spinners of India. They have Jadeja and they have got some other bowlers. I mean, they have quite a few all-rounders in their team, which they are handy with bat and ball both. So, do you think that for today this wicket can become more helpful for spinners, and this is where India could have a problem?
Well, I don't know. I can't confess to have seen Liam Dawson play very much before. It's 8 years since his last match. I missed the last time he played. Dawson is a useful spinner, but I mean, and including the one he's taken in this match, he's only got 8 Test wickets. I'm a bit surprised that Leach wasn't given another chance personally. Leach is, not a massive spinner of a ball, but he's got a decent Test record. India are clearly missing Ashwin, who was a spin bowler of real class who could also bat very well. There is clearly a lack of. There's very promising spinners out there. I mean, Rayan Ahmed has got.
He played in Pakistan. He also
he seems to. I think a few years' time he could well be something closer to the finished article. The Bashir has clearly got promise, Shoaib Bashir, but he needs a lot more experience yet. I'm sure he'll be back. But he's effectively being told to learn his craft in Test matches, which is extremely unorthodox. Only time will tell whether it's a good policy. England's main weakness is a lack of class spinners. I mean, that's been the case most of my lifetime. We had Graham Swan, and a lot longer ago we had Derek Underwood, but there've not been that many really class spinners that have played for England in the decades I've been following the game. Whereas, of course, India have had some great spinners. I've seen Bedi Chandra, Prasanna, and Venkat play, and I've seen other very good Indian spinners since then. And of course, Kumble, a tremendous spinner. But there's not enough spin on English pitches, so I guess the spinners don't quite develop in the way they should. I don't see Adil Rashid playing Test cricket again. I'm a bit surprised he hasn't played more, but he does turn the ball. But there's some young, promising players. Let's see how the England management treats them and whether they are.
I'm hearing that they have hired Mushtaq Ahmed again as a spin bowling coach.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, he's been with the England setup for some time. And he was a very, very fine bowler, of course, a brilliant bowler.
The interesting thing is that Pakistan is not hiring him as a spin coaching.
Yes, that's a bit. Yeah, perhaps they wanted. I don't know if they tried or not. With him around there, you know that the coaching will be good and relevant. It's just a question of whether the material he's working with is really up to it. And we'll have a better idea in a couple of years than we do now. There are spinners who can take the odd wicket, but truly Test class spinners. Yeah, England don't really have them right now.
Yeah, I mean, India also have another option, which is Kuldeep Yadav. He's a specialist spinner, but they have not given him an opportunity yet. I think they want to strengthen their batting line, so they have got so many all-rounders in the squad. And I mean, if you see the Edgbaston Test, they heavily rely on their batting, and their tail is very long as well. So they also win. I wanted to talk to you about the baseball approach. I mean, since we have seen this new captain, they say we want to play for win. Either we win or we lose. There is no word of drawing the match in our dictionary. So do you think after losing the Test match in Edgbaston, they learned their lesson and they play the old traditional style cricket at Lord's, or is it because of the weather they were forced to do so?
I think that Bazball has become a bit less one-dimensional in the last recently. Although they never talk about draws, I'm sure that even though they won't use the D word, they clearly prefer a draw to a loss. But they're not generally going to play for draws most of the time. That there's clearly been a recognition that you can't always biff bang and expect to make big runs, and sometimes you have to go for singles and twos a lot more. I mean, you've seen it in the England innings today. Ben Stokes has got 77 not out with only 6 boundaries, so there's clearly, it has become more adaptable, but with the basic ethos, we're going to go for a win and not be too daunted by precedent and by what the opposition have put on the board. We think we can bat. We back ourselves to get big totals. I think they are learning that it doesn't always work, and it's not. You lose a series two tests to 3 in a blaze of glory. It's probably best to win a series 2 tests to 1 and be a tiny bit, a little bit more defensive minded. And England, most England fans want to see attractive cricket, but they want to see England win. And some of us who are used to, slower players like Boycott or so on, prepared to accept that up to a point. It can be very good watching loads of very class forward defensive strokes. It's not always boring if it's done properly. But the run rate is nevertheless, it's still pretty healthy, and other teams in the world are playing like that now a lot. New Zealand play like that. India are not the slowest. And Australia have always had a healthy scoring rate. It's perhaps in a way, although people talk about it as some sort of revolutionary form of cricket, Bazball in a way is just England catching up with the way other teams do well in Test cricket. And with Stokes as captain, they've got someone who can carry this off pretty well. Stokes clearly has bought into this attitude, and he's brought the team with him really brilliantly, I think. So, but there's no, sometimes you can score at 4 and over. It's not necessary to score at 5 and over. You're still going to win a Test match most of the time. If you score a lot of runs at 4 and over, you're going to give yourself time to bowl the opposition out. If you've got the bowlers to do it, and so most of the time England do, not always.
Yeah, so we are actually nearing the end of our program, but before we come to that, I want to ask you, for our viewers, tell us about yourself. How did you get involved into cricket? Because you also play some local club cricket, I guess.
I played cricket at university. Then I started my own business, and I didn't play for many, many years. Kept very interested in the game, but then I found that the pub I was using had a cricket team, and that some of the players were even older than me. I said, "Am I too old?" And they said, "No." So I started playing in a pub cricket team. It's great fun, but we win a lot of matches as well. And there's enough good players to make up for my terrible deficiencies. I greatly enjoy it. It's also quite a good way of keeping fit at a relatively advanced age, and I'll carry on playing as long as I can. Everyone in the team really follows Test cricket, and we're always talking about it. And I'd recommend pub cricket, proper club cricket. If there's a level of cricket for almost anybody, it's great fun. And I follow cricket on social media as well. I'm in a very good Facebook worldwide group. Some actual Test cricketers are members of it and contribute sometimes. I'm sure I'll always be following the game. And I'm always sad when the season ends here in England.
Yeah, I remember once you wrote on your Facebook profile that you were playing and then you managed to hurt yourself.
Yeah, I broke my shoulder playing last season. I
Yeah,
had to take 2 weeks off work, and it was very painful indeed. This season, not broken anything, thank goodness.
that's
Touch
good.
wood. Touch
All
wood.
right. Okay, so now what India need to do next day is that India need to take early wickets. Bumrah and Jadeja must target Stokes and Dawson to keep England under 600
Mm,
if they can possibly.
mm,
And Jaiswal, Rahul, and Gill must bat big in the second innings to set a 350 to 400 target to challenge England. So Jadeja's spin on a turning pitch could be a key. Can he outfox England's middle order?
mm.
That remains to be seen. Gill needs to lift field energy and avoid Siraj's loose deliveries to match Stokes' intensity. So a miracle moment, either a run out or a blinder could spark India's
Mm.
comeback. So last words from you, what India needs to do and what England should be looking for tomorrow.
India are not in a good position here. I mean, even if they take the last 3 wickets really quickly, and they might do, there's a big England lead, and I'm not sure how long would India have to bat to set England a target that would really challenge them. They'd have to bat.
Hmm.
And when I'm not quite sure what the weather forecast is in Manchester.
Yeah.
It's a very, very tall order from this position. India are certainly capable of batting deep and long enough to prevent England from winning, but can they actually win the match themselves? That's an incredibly tall order to me, and I don't see how they do it from this position unless England bat really atrociously, because this pitch will not break up and become really bowler friendly. It's all the previous first class matches in Old Trafford this season have been draws. It doesn't augur very well for India's chances. But yes, you never know. England could have a sort of a brain fade day where a lot of them get out in very stupid ways. It can happen, and it has sometimes happened in the past. So do I actually think it will happen? I'd say it's unlikely.
Okay. So what's your prediction? 4-1?
Oh, for the series as a whole?
Yes.
Well, Bumrah won't play in the last test if England win this one. Yeah, it depends how ruthless England are, doesn't it? And whether they decide to rest some players and try other players.
Injury.
I don't know. I need to see the lineup for the final test before I could make any formulate any ideas as to who might win that test, to be honest. At the moment, India look a bit fed up and a bit tired. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's 4-1 to England. But on the other hand, England are perfectly capable. India are perfectly capable of preventing that if they play at their best. It's just the same old story. India win at home and they tend not to win away very much, against the stronger test countries. They find it. They sometimes do, but they don't usually win here in England, and I don't think they will this year either.
Prior to this Edgbaston test, they never won in Edgbaston, but this time they celebrated it as a big achievement.
Yes, it did. Yeah, well, yes, it is an achievement. I think England winning the toss and putting them into bat was not the greatest masterstroke in the history of captaincy, but I'm sure India might well have won the game anyway, because they played much better than England in that game.
England has been quite lucky with winning the toss. On all occasions they won it, and then they decided what they want to do.
Yeah. Well, I think
Lucky
India
charm.
have now lost. Haven't India lost 14 tosses in a row in ODIs and tests or something ridiculous like that?
Probably not luck on.
Well, that is unlucky. Yes, that's part of cricket. I remember Mike Atherton losing 7 or 8 tosses in a row once when he was the England captain. It does happen sometimes. Yeah.
Good. Okay, that's really great conversation with you, Barnaby. So those who watched us live or you will watch our recorded show, thank you very much for your support. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, then please do so and press the bell icon so that you get updated on all our future videos. So let us know in your comments, what is your prediction? Can India pull off a miracle on day 4, or is it England's lead going to be too big? Drop your thoughts. So until the next video, we will take your leave. And thank you so much, Barnaby, for joining us.
Thank you for asking me, Sitara.
Thank you
Nice
so
to
much.
see you.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.